Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer, and today I'm going to do the follow-up review of the Nomad Lane carry-on and the Monos hybrid carry-on. If you saw my previous videos, I was going to Switzerland and I was going full carry-on because I didn't want to take the chance of losing my luggage as I was transferring through Schiphol. And, well, full disclaimer, that is not what happened. Once I got everything packed up, I didn't have enough room to bring things home, and bringing things home is slightly important to me. So I decided that I would take a checked bag as well, and I risked it. I did put a tile tracker in the bag so I could monitor it and keep my eye on it. It did follow me to Switzerland. It made it there just fine. It did get lost on the way home. It didn't get lost. It got delayed, but that's only because we missed our connection coming back home due to a delayed flight out of Geneva, but that's another story altogether. Regardless, it made it home the next day and everything is fine. But here is my follow-up review of how these bags worked during my travels, and they worked amazing. The Nomad Lane bag, which is this guy here, this bag is phenomenal for a carry-on bag. It has so many compartments, as I highlighted in my previous video, and it worked fabulously. I fit so much stuff in this bag to and from, and it did great. So a couple of things that I had in that bag coming home, going out and coming home. This is my in-flight bag. So when I have to store everything overhead, because we were on an A350 out of Detroit. That was our connector. I live in Kansas City, so we connected in Detroit, and then we were on an A350, and you can't put that guy underneath your seat when you're in Delta One, so it doesn't work. So I have an in-flight essentials bag, which I had in the side, one of the side pockets here, and in this bag, I will open it up so you can see. So this bag has all kinds of storage. So this has a full compartment here that unzips, and I had I had a battery bank in there. I had my reading glasses. I had a pen for customs forms that I didn't actually have to fill out. My passport, anything that I needed during flight, chapstick, jet lag pills, jet lag tablets, anything like that went in here. And then I had my Kindle, I had my wallet and some cash, all in here. Just anything I would use during my flight. So this was in that bag, and it fit perfectly fine on the side. And it also fit on the side when I came home. I had 3 bags of chips that I picked up in Switzerland to bring home, and they went on the side of this bag with that bag as well. And they fit just fine. And the chips made it home in one piece, so they didn't even get crushed. And I was taking that bag in and out during the entire journey to and from. So it worked perfectly. As I mentioned in the previous video, that bag also comes with a liquids bag, which is up here, and it stays in here. You just pull it out. And so the liquids that I used for my liquids bag, I use these Cadence capsules, which are magnetic. I think I've got one. No, I have them all together. So these are the ones that I took, and they fit just fine in that bag. I didn't have any issues with them except for one, and I had my toner, which is that guy there. And I think it's just because of the consistency. It's just like water. It made it to Switzerland without any problems. It did not make it home without any issues. By the time I got home, this was empty and it had leaked. But because it's more alcohol, it was kind of dry. So the liquids bag was mostly dry, but it did keep everything. The liquids bag did keep everything in there, but this one did leak, and it was just, I believe, because it was toner. But other than that, I didn't have any problems with that. With these, the capsules, everything else stayed fine, and I had plenty for my entire time there. I was there for 7 days, ended up being 8 with the misconnection in Amsterdam, but these worked fabulously, and there's plenty of room, so you can see the depth on those. There's plenty of room for all of your stuff. I have body wash, cleanser, hair serum, sunscreen, makeup remover, face moisturizer, body moisturizer, and leave-in conditioner in these. And they're still mostly full. You think you're going to use a lot more than you do, and you tend to not. But they have plenty, so these worked great. Again, I didn't have any leaks except for the toner, but That's just the nature of that particular product, but it's not a big deal. I just know for next time I don't bring toner, or I bring it in a different fashion. This is the bag I brought, my check bag. This is the Rimowa Check-In M, so it's the medium. Now, I brought this because once I got these two loaded, I didn't have enough room to bring things home. So I packed in the one side of it, I had some clothes I thought I might need, like in case it got chilly, hooded sweatshirts, jackets, an umbrella, which I ended up not needing because my room had an umbrella in it, which is a nice touch. So I know that for next year, I don't need to pack an umbrella. Room's got one. And then I left the other side completely empty so I could transfer that into here on my way home. So this worked out really well. It did make it to and from. Again, I put a tile tracker in it so I could keep my eye on it, and that works brilliantly. If you've got an AirPhone, obviously, or an iPhone, you'd obviously use the AirPods. I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android, so the tile trackers work just great, and I could keep my eye on it. Even when it missed the connection, I saw where it was in Skipple, I saw when it got into Atlanta, and then I saw when it got back to Kansas City, so I could see it. I had visibility of it the entire time. So this guy, this is the Monos carry-on. This is not the plus size. This is the regular carry-on. This is the hybrid, so it's polycarbonate and aluminum. And this guy kept everything in perfect condition. I didn't have any issues with it. I would say the only issue, per se, is that when he's on top of it and it's loaded, so it's fairly, between the two of them, they're fairly heavy because they've got a good amount of room in there, a good amount of room in them. So it was the weight got kind of heavy as I was pulling it over carpet. So if you're on any type of carpeted surfaces, which are few and far between in an airport, but there are some, like if you're in the lounges, there's some carpeted areas. It's a little draggy. That's really about it. But that was because of the weight. So I don't really put that as a minus against this bag. It was more because I tend to pack heavy. That's on me. But this carry-on held on the way out. It held all of my clothing with the exception of the sweatshirts that I put in there, because this was just these are my daily clothes. So it had 11 t-shirts, 9 pair of socks, I think 12 pair of underwear, 2 pair of jeans, 2 pair of shoes, and I think some other smaller things that I would use. Some shampoo, my dry shampoo, the shampoo bar, the shampoo conditioner. Or I keep saying shampoo conditioner. It's not a shampoo conditioner. It's a conditioner bar. Get it right. Have that in there. My straightening iron, and I think. Oh, my portable water pick, because I can't travel without a water pick. I'm so used to one. So they do make portable ones, which I was very happy to find out. So it also had the portable water pick in here. Now, on the way home, so everything that I carried in here, and I did not use compression cubes. I had talked about it in my last video. I did not use them. I tried them. I packed and repacked this bag and that bag probably 4 times before I went. It's just until I was happy with it. Like I said, packing stresses me out. I never know what to bring. I never know how, even though I look at the weather, I never know what to bring. Packing stresses me out in general. So I did try the packing cubes, the compression cubes. I didn't like them. I ended up not using them at all. And so on the way home, I took everything out of here that was my regular personal clothing, and I put all of my souvenirs. I think there might have been the only exception that I did have in here that I did not check coming home was I had a Balenciaga wallet on chain bag and a Burberry bag, and I put the Balenciaga inside that bag and that in the dust bags, and I put that in here. That stayed with me the entire time. I did not ever put that in my check bag. Those always stay in. If I'm ever traveling with a luxury handbag, they stay with me. They do not get checked. So that was the only thing that stayed in here. So on the way home, this had 2 full-size hoodies that I bought. Everything that's in here is stuff that I bought in Switzerland. So there's 2 full-size hoodies, 5 t-shirts, a canister of hot chocolate, which is about that big, only because I was told that if I'm bringing home anything from Switzerland, Swiss chocolate and Swiss hot chocolate. So word of warning, the Swiss hot chocolate that I bought at the bakery that I bought it at came in a canister about that big, and it was silver. And the security in Geneva and security in Schiphol didn't like that, and I had to take it out twice. But not a big deal. Let's just be aware of that. Had that in there. I had 12 chocolate bars. Yes, 12 chocolate bars, because gifts, they're not all for me. I had 2 pair of shoes, which I did bring. No, I'm sorry, I had 1 pair of shoes. The rest went in there. The rest went in my check bag. And I had a jacket, a pair of sweatpants, I think I had a jersey in there, a football jersey, and everything that I got in relation to the event that I was attending. So I got some artwork that I had rolled up, and I had some I had rolled up in a tube, which fit in there just fine. Some I had flattened so it would stay flat. I had postcards, flat artwork photos. I had a tote bag. Everything I bought, plus a couple of things that I brought over with me, fit in this bag going home. I won't say I didn't have any problem closing it. I had to really kind of work on it to get it shut, since it's latches, it's clasps and not zippers. But it also stayed really secure that way too. So it kept me in check. So I know I didn't have a bag that expanded with zippers. It didn't make it bigger. So bearing that in mind, it kept me in check when I was shopping, because I was like, I have to make sure all of this fits, and I don't have an expandable bag. So it kept me in check. But because it's got the compression sleeve, worked perfectly. Worked absolutely perfectly. And then I didn't change anything in this bag. Everything that came in this bag on my way out also came on the way home, plus the 3 bags of chips. So I added 3 bags of chips, and they made it just fine. So I didn't have any issues there. I think that's really about it. Again, these are 2 bags I recommend. And obviously the Rimowa brand is, if you're going check-in, even if you want it as a carry-on, I definitely, this is a brand that I absolutely love. But I'm not buying that as a carry-on, because I don't tend to travel carry-on only. So I always have a check bag. So that's my check bag. Did perfectly. Put a tracker in it. Didn't have any issues getting it back. Delta did a great job getting it back to me the next day. So I didn't really have any problems losing that bag. And the funny thing is I was worried about losing it on the way over, and I ended up losing it on the way back. Not really losing it. It was just delayed. But the concern that I had was not having it not make it to Montreux, and it was just fine. And these 2 bags, I love these bags. I am not going to get a new carry-on. In my last video, I mentioned how I buy carry-on after carry-on for carry-on. I take it. It doesn't work the way I wanted it to work, and then I get rid of it. Not the case with this. This bag is perfect. Is absolutely perfect. I adore this bag. It fit under the seat on the KLM flight out of Schiphol, and it fit under the seat on my originating flight out of Kansas City. The other 2, it had to go into the overhead, and I just took out my in-flight essentials bag. So it worked perfectly, and I'm not going to be replacing that as a carry-on. It's a great bag. It looks small. Don't let that deceive you. It fits a lot. It fits a lot, and you can kind of be creative in where you put stuff, because there's a lot of little nooks and crannies in there that you don't see until you're packing it up and it's full, and you're like, oh, I have more stuff I need to put in there. So like my adapters, my plug adapters for Switzerland were in there. The only mistake I did make is on my way home, I took my adapters out of my carry-on bags and I put them in my check bag, because I was going home. I did not account for the delayed departure out of Geneva, and that was only delayed because that flight coming in got struck by lightning, and, KLM just wanted to make sure it was safe to fly, which, congrats. I appreciate that. So we were delayed about 2 hours, and that's why we ended up missing our connection. So we get to Amsterdam. KLM put us up at the hotel, made sure we were fed. We didn't, no out-of-pocket expenses there. And get to the hotel, and I realize I don't have an adapter plug. I have no plug. But the hotel had USB ports. So it had the USB power cord, so all was not lost. I was able to keep everything charged, and I didn't have I wasn't worried about my hair. I wore it up on the way back, so I wasn't worried about having to plug in any hair products. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's just kind of a, hey, when you're leaving the country in Europe and you're coming home, keep your adapters with you in your carry-on in case you miss a connection and you've got to plug into a different hotel in a different country, different adapter. So that was the only error that I made, because I didn't think I was going to have a connection issue, but I did. That's it. Make sure you're keeping your connectors, your adapters, and your power converters if you need them. Make sure you keep those in your carry-on to and from. You don't want to be without those. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed the follow-up. Again, these are the 3 pieces of luggage that I took. The Monos hybrid carry-on, the regular size, not the plus size. The Nomad Lane Bento bag, and the Rimowa Check-In M bag. Had no problems. Everything fit. I had extra room in this bag, obviously, coming home, but other than that, everything fit perfectly. I do recommend both of these bags as carry-ons, as I did in my original review videos of each one, but now that I have used them on long-haul flights, I absolutely recommend these bags. If you're on the fence about getting them, you shouldn't be. Get them, check them out, take them for a spin. I think both of them offer a trial, actually. You can use them. If you don't like them, you can send them back. So that is my review, my post-trip review for these bags. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.